The U.S. President Joe Biden signed a $95.3 billion aid package for Ukraine and Israel that passed through with allocations to replenish Israel's missile defense systems. The bill's passage demonstrates continued U.S. support for its allies, despite criticism from both left-wing and right-wing elements and delays in the House of Representatives. While some left-wing lawmakers wanted to condition future Israeli military aid, the bill's bipartisan support shows that U.S. military aid to Israel will continue, despite the plausible genocide taking place. The majority of the aid will be going to Ukraine, who after 2 years of war is in a precarious position. Ukraine still faces manpower shortages on the battlefield, while questions linger over the strength of its fortifications along a sprawling 600-mile front line ahead of what President Volodymyr Zelensky said could be a Russian summer offensive. It's unlikely the package will change the outcome of this war, which is now decisively turning in Russia's favor. Student protests against the war in Gaza have swept elite American universities, bringing back memories of the Vietnam War protests. The protests have seen demonstrations, pickets, encampments, and speeches. Hundreds of demonstrators have been arrested, with the White House condemning them as blatantly anti-Semitic. The trigger for the latest troubles was the clearing by police of tents and protesters at Columbia, and the arrest of more than 100 students. In a letter posted on Columbia's website, Columbia's president wrote that she asked the NYPD to intervene after other efforts failed. She did so out of an abundance of concern for the safety of Columbia's campus. The move only inflamed matters. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for a crackdown against those protesting against Israel's slaughter of Palestinians. After 6 months of war and the U.S. government unstinting support, this is now another issue on a growing list where the U.S. public are on the diametric opposite side to their leaders. Slow economic growth will push France out of the list of the world's 10 largest economies within 5 years, according to an updated global outlook from the International Monetary Fund. The national debt and budget deficit is forecasted to remain high and eat into French economic growth. Successive French governments have blamed immigration for many of the country's ills, but the social democratic model, where the government plays a large role in the economy, has only made things worse. Despite the major role the French government plays in the economy, the richest 10% of the country own 55% of the nation's wealth. The French social security system had for long been the solution to this, but it is now the cause of a national debt exceeding the nation's GDP. French global ambitions are completely out of sync with their economic reality, and there is little liberty, equality, and fraternity can do to reverse this.